This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
Welcome back, boys and girls.
That was gay.
Oh, I forgot. Silas didn't like that one.
That's gay.
Welcome back, everybody. He doesn't like that one either, but
So that's less
welcome
gay.
back, everybody. Welcome to Off the Clock Shop Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we don't disappoint this week. We got a guest for you. No more me and George. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest for the week, Mauricio Perez.
How's it going, fellas?
How's it going?
So who are you, bro? No
So
one knows who you are. Where'd you come from? What do you do?
I was telling you guys before, I'm at UPS, man. It's
Okay.
like everybody here, apparently.
Yeah.
But I noticed everybody has a different story when it comes to UPS. You know, it's
Yeah.
the same end goal usually for most of us, but there's always different steps to get to that same goal, you know. But back in 2008, actually, right out of high school, a month after I graduated, I got a job at UPS, all right? And
Right. I started when I was 18, too.
And then like a week, 2 weeks in on just loading these trailers and stuff, I was like, man, I got to do this shit every day for the next 30 years for me to get a decent pension and all that. But like all of us here, we just came to terms with that. And, you know, it's worked
Get
out for us.
Sucked into the black hole.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, that was the first step, just loading for a year. Then I got sent over to the Smalls area for another year. Then
That's
I
a small store?
I went to a small store.
At a year? That's
At a
crazy.
year. No, I got forced to go because I got hired in 2008. They were the economy went to shit. Like,
Yeah, I remember.
As soon as I passed probation, the economy went to shit. So they had a hiring freeze for 2 years.
Okay.
So I was towards the bottom seniority for the better part of that time. So I was forced to go to a small store because they just needed help.
So nobody wanted to go to small store?
That's
not
wild.
like-
That's where everyone
Nobody
wants
wanted
to go because it's the
Yeah.
easiest work.
I went up and I was like, all right, whatever.
I'll
it
take
is.
that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's somebody right now that's filing a point of knowledge grievance.
For real, dude. You're like 14 years behind me. Yeah, dude.
Right? They're like, pay me.
Oh, yeah. But after small store, I was up in unload for a little bit. And then I went to the A sort from the twilight sort. I went to the afternoon sort after that.
So, real quick,
go
I
ahead.
don't mean to cut you off, but I've always been confused. So, over here, we don't have as you guys are a 24-hour operation, right? So we have sunrise, which is the morning shift, and we have twilight, which is the evening shift. During peak, sometimes we've had a day shift, but rare.
Yeah.
So, what is A sort? What is it?
So they keep adding new sorts all the time, man. So twilight has stayed consistent. I know
Okay.
that. That's
Yeah.
the time frame when I started. It was like 4 p.m. You going to work.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's like pushed it back to like 8 p.m. Twilight is right.
They start at 8?
Yeah, it's pretty
When do
bad.
they get off?
Midnight 30, 1 o'clock, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just cutting their hours?
Yeah. And then the A sort is the afternoon sort that goes right before twilight. So
Okay.
that used to be afternoon, 12 o'clock. Now they're starting at about like 3, 2:30, you know. After twilight, you got the intra sort. That's like just middle of the night. And then you got the preload. Then you got the sunrise, which is the same time as the preload, maybe like an hour staggered, something like that. And then you got the morning sort, which comes in before the A sort, but only works Sunday through Thursday. I don't know how that works, but whatever. You know, we're not in the
You
business
got all
of doing
kinds of
that.
sorts, like you
It's
said.
just
I
that.
get it.
You
I
know
get
what
it.
it is. Then there's a night sort somewhere else. It's just too much, man. So,
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, we're not 24 hours, so we have just 2 sorts.
yeah.
But so what building you come out of?
That's Ontario building.
Okay,
The
so
Ontario
you came out of
building in Ontario. And then there's another one next to it called Waka. It's the West Coast Air Hub. That's like right next to it. That's like an air operation where all the airplanes and all the air stuff goes.
So what was after small store? So you go to small store for 2 years.
Unload for another 3 years, and then I went over to the A store after. So I transferred from twilight to the afternoon sort because I turned 21 and I wanted to go drinking.
Yeah.
And then it's
You're like, I don't have to wake up early anymore.
yeah, it's just
Nice.
And then I was like, let's
That's
see
what I'm using my seniority for.
Yeah.
We're going drinking.
Let's see what happy hour is all about. And I was like, it's the saddest shit ever. You go drink like at 5 p.m., dude. It just
That's
wasn't
funny.
cool.
You see a guy sit at the bar. What is the lowest?
When they
Yeah,
say
that's
it's
when
5
everybody gets off work. The worst part is that you have to leave after that. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, I got to leave.
Yeah, dude, I did that for a little bit. And then all the while, I was still going to school the entire time. I was still going to RCC, just the community college.
What were
My
you going to
kids go
school
there.
for?
First, it was just, general ed, you know, because like I said, when I turned 18, the economy went to shit, which means a lot of people weren't working and they all went back to school. So I wasn't taking many classes at a time, maybe like 2 the most every
So
semester.
you hadn't picked out
No
nothing
major,
yet. No
nothing.
major yet.
Just
Okay.
get your shit ready and
Trying to
then-
get the AA, and then
That was it,
we'll
yeah.
figure it out later.
And then I talked to HR about it. HR was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna pay for schooling." All right, cool. So might as well, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to get another job. This job was already taking everything out of me. So I did that for a minute, and then after I did unload and all that, I went to the bulk side, and that shit was dope. The easiest job I ever had at UPS was just working on the heavy packages.
Like, you were an E-rig driver, or what?
No, I was still inside the building, just sorting big irregular pieces. It was great,
So
and yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah.
So we have
That's
E-rig
cool.
drivers,
Uh-huh.
and then they'll have like guys that sort the slide. You're working like the slide, but it's just like 2 guys sorting. We have one big unload area in Anaheim, and 2 guys usually just go back and forth. They'll help the guys load up, and then everyone else is just E-rig drivers.
Yep.
no,
You guys have a whole section dedicated to E-rigs?
Yeah, we have South bulk, main bulk, and then there was the Metro bulk. So that was the bulk that would come out of the package cars was Metro bulk. South and main bulk was just other doors. I don't know how many doors we had, but that hub has changed a lot since I've been there. I don't even think they have all those different bulk areas, but
Interesting.
I was just unloading bulk like ellipticals. from
trailers
Gold's
full of
Gyms.
bulk or what?
Yeah, tires.
Oh, shit.
Trailers full of like Gold's
Yeah.
Gym ellipticals is all it was, and then they pay you an extra $1. I was balling at 1150 for a minute there, man. Just balling out of control. You know?
So you thought.
Yeah, that's what-
Hey, believe me, we were all there.
Been there.
I think when we all started, we were making. I mean, even Saul started 4 years before I did, and
It was 850 when you started? It was
850,
850
dude.
when I started.
Yeah, I started at 850.
It was 850 since 1984.
Yeah. So just a little kind of a little bit of information. We had Carla Schumann on. She's the ST for Arizona. They have state right jurisdiction 104.
So when I started working at UPS, I called my dad and I said, "Hey, I'm going to get this great job and I'm going to work for UPS and I'm going to make $8 an hour and $8 an hour back in the Stone Ages."
You wait,
No, real quick. Carla, I
There's a lot of
I
money.
started at
I have to go on
850,
a-
so I'm right behind
I
you.
have to go on a tangent. So you started in '87. I started in '02 at 825.
04.
Like,
04, and it was
That's
8.
crazy.
It was
That was a
850
pretty
when I
long
started.
gap
yeah,
before the rates went up, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a big misstep on UPS's part in my mind. But we'll touch on that later.
Yeah.
So anyhow, long story short,
So she was actually telling us that in '84 they were like at $8 already, and I was like, "What?" Because when I started, it was like 825,
825.
and that was 20 years ago, and then that was 18 years before '84. So there was no
There was no pay increase for
pay increase for like 20 years, bro.
more because I think the pay raise went from 850 to like 9. I
mean,
it was like
very
950.
minimal pay increase.
Yeah, in like 2012,
No,
13, it went up $1.
2013 went up to $10.
Was it 10? But even then, from 1984 to 2013, it goes up $1.50.
That's crazy, dude.
Bro, for like the better part of 30 years, it stayed one rate. It's fucking crazy.
That's nuts. So you're working the E-rigs,
Yeah, just chilling at this point, man.
yeah?
Because you load up a belt, you keep that shit backed up. You really don't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
anything after that. So, mind you, this was all part time. So, 5-6 hours if you get it, And then after that, I transferred out to because I my school schedule. I actually was starting to get some classes, and I was going to the University of Laverne at that point.
Okay.
So I managed to do pretty well with that. So I ended up going over there, and my school schedule changed. So I had to go to the ramp side. In middle of the night. So I was starting like at 9 p.m. at night, and then getting out like at 3:30 in the morning, and then going to school and all that stuff, right? So I was there from 2015 till when I went driving in 2018, and that was the easiest job ever, man. On the ramp, you just be chilling, bro, the entire time. Yeah, because it's all just FAA regulations. So like a plane will come in, and then they would teach you how to marshal with the wands and stuff like that. You would cone off a plane, and then stuff couldn't go fast because it was all just like a whole like a assembly line kind of like how it would go like that. So you just had to wait your turn, and you just be chilling most of the time. Yeah. The worst part was that you would inhale a bunch of like
jet fuel.
Yeah. So it was pretty bad.
Oh, that's safe.
Easy.
Other than that, it was a great job.
Easy job. A little bit of cancer.
Trace amounts of carcinogens.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was I was doing that up until I went driving in 2018. I went cover driving.
Okay.
But I never got bounced back and forth. I just started driving and I kept driving.
Lucky.
The entire time. And then I went full time when those 224 drivers came out.
Yeah.
I was the first one over there in Ontario.
You were a 224?
I was 11 years in, and they're like, "You want to go to 224?" And then I did that, and then 224 for like 3 months. Then I got flipped to just regular. Was it 223 or something like that? Regular full time.
RPCD.
RPCD, yeah.
Yeah, I was that.
300.
Yeah, I did that, and then the COVID hit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
It was peak all year long.
I still remember that.
It was summer.
There's a PCM. One of our managers, Ken, goes up there and he's like, "All right, guys, be careful. There's a disease out there. It's killing people. By the way, here's twice the work." Well, what the fuck, man? You're just out there like crazy. And I was 9.5 by then, right? So I remember hearing about Amazon drivers getting penalties for being out there. What was it called?
Hazard pay.
Hazard pay. That's what it was. Yeah. Yep. And then we're talking to our stewards like, "Where's our hazard pay?" And they're telling us, "Well, that's not on the contract." I'm like, "Fair enough."
Yeah.
We all went 9.5 right there. These motherfuckers are gonna pay us penalties for staying.
Dude, I remember when it was COVID, right? And we were probably a year in at this time. Everybody was on 9.5, and everyone was making like an extra $800 to $1,000 a week.
Easy.
Just because everyone's on 9.5, they had nobody, so they were just like, everyone's working 14 hours. Okay.
That was the hazard pay.
That
That's
was
what I
our
used to
hazard
tell
pay.
people. That's your hazard pay.
Yeah, dude, get on 9.5.
Get on 9.5. Because they weren't honoring it. They were just
No,
paying it.
they were just paying it at that point. And we didn't really utilize the language that we had. I mean, there was nothing we could do. It was just crazy at that point.
How are you gonna predict a pandemic
Yeah.
contract?
They put
I
a
got
little
my
bit of
theories, but
They put a little bit.
that's a whole other show.
That's a different show.
We'll have Sabas' conspiracy theories.
Yeah, we need to get a Patreon so then that we could have an after show with Sabas.
You got a lot of stuff.
Tell us all the theories.
Off the rails with Sava.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nah, fuck Sabas.
This is what happens. You always have haters. You know what I mean?
The conspiracy haters.
Yeah, conspiracy haters. So.
Oh man, here we go.
Conspiracy haters.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to your story.
Yeah.
John cut you off. We're like, oh,
bad.
COVID was happening in 2020, and then August 2020 is when I went feeder. I already put my paperwork to go in. Yeah, and but mind you, I was full time for 1 year exactly.
damn.
Wow.
I went.
Nice.
Yeah.
You go out
Right.
on? Did you go out on sleeper right away, or did you?
No, well, actually, you know what? Not right away. I was still on probation when
Okay.
I went on sleeper, just because I wanted to get my probation days done.
Yeah.
So if you
So
do
you
like-
volunteered to do it.
Yeah.
Prior to the 30 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went to Portland.
Okay.
Portland, like my first sleeper. So many fucking deer out up there, and
Really?
and
There's
Reading
a lot.
and stuff like that. I was shitting bricks, man, just trying to drive, like keep the guy behind me safe, and then it's just like foggy, so it was just like visible, like minimum visibility. It was hard just to see stuff in like NorCal, and I was fresh, you know, maybe like.
It's like
4 weeks
driving a
in.
fucking
Big rig?
a big rig through there because I've made that trip up to Washington, so you have to drive through Portland, and on the 5, dude, it gets windy, and some parts are very treacherous. Like it'll be like a wide turn here, but a hairpin right here.
Like I didn't know what a Jake brake was until I went up, and like
Oh,
now
shit.
like you
Now I
fucking,
know
you
what I'm doing.
Poor guy didn't know the guy that was sleeping, in the sleeper cab, but that's just an engine brakes. You know, you use that so you don't heat up
you're
your
trying to
brakes
smoke
and
all your
blow up.
brakes.
Yeah, and that shit's hilly, man, the whole time. So
whole
I was
time,
just
yeah.
slowing down. Like I almost ran out of hours getting to Portland, and we switched off like by Sacramento and Lodi, and then I went all the way to Portland from there, and then he drove back and I drove back from Sacramento. It was just 2 legs. That was it.
It was the an experienced state driver, or were
Yeah,
you
he
guys-
was an experienced driver.
Okay.
Yeah, he just his partner called off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I went, and then that was the first one I went to when I was on probation. The next week was my last 2 days of probation, so I was like, in case they wanted to fire me or anything like that, or DQ me or whatever, I was like, I'm gonna take a long one, and I went to Louisville.
Oh shit!
That fucking place, man, is huge.
I heard that hub is like crazy.
It's
one
the
of the
size
biggest.
its own city. It's the biggest one we have. Like it's the whole airport over there.
Holy shit!
Like they have like shuttles. Like that's a combo job. Like a shuttle driver getting people in and to from work, from the parking lot. Yeah.
That is a fucking chill job right there, dude.
I was talking
Hop on
to
the
them,
golf
they were
cart.
telling me, yeah. That's what it
So
was.
I know that they have that shuttle, right? So that was one of the cases that we had here in 952 because for Anaheim building, right? We have during peak they rent out the Angel Stadium parking, so everyone parks at the Angel Stadium, and they would use our whole parking lot for just feeder setup and everything, right? So they would bus us in back and forth. I know that was a big thing out of Louisville. They actually got an agreement where they would get those guys paid to be on the bus, and then we had the same grievance, and we've been going back and forth, except for arbitration at this point. But it's interesting that they have to park so far. That's fucking crazy.
It was just that big of a place where like if you parked in one area, you would have to go to your like shift, which is way on the other side of the airport. So that airport's called Muhammad Ali Airport because he's from Louisville.
Okay.
Everything there is named after Muhammad Ali. All right. You go to like a sandwich spot, it's gonna be like the knockout fucking sandwich. I guarantee it. Man. But it's huge, man. It was wild. I did that, and then by the time I came back, this is the crazy part. I just passed probation, maybe like a day past probation. We were doing the annual bid, and I made bid. Wow. That very first time. Like, that's unheard of, you know. Cause
I'm tripping out on that.
yeah, because it takes dudes like a while, you know. Yeah. Once you pass probation, then you're just what's called WAD, just work just on the bench, right?
Yeah.
No, I made bid right away, and then we started like just hiring more and more people. I got in just when we started hiring off the street. Started getting the guys like from first it was from the local. You had to be YRC, Altadena, ABF guys. Those guys all came in, right? Or UPS freight guys too.
Yeah.
And then after that, we started going whoever had a Class A.
Yeah, I remember all that time. I mean, like I said, I've the youngest feeder drivers I've ever seen all come out of 63. They took freaking everybody. Seen guys. I mean, you're pretty young, but I've seen some young ones. That's so feeder. Then I mean, what next? I mean, obviously you're still driving feeder, but how did you get into what you're doing now?
2 years in maybe like a year in a feeder. A year in a feeder, I met with this one dude from the local, Scott Berghofer. He's an organizer that we had over there. He's out of Stater, but he's a business agent. He had a meeting talking about the threat of Amazon to our industry, right? I was like, fuck it, I'll see what's up. And he had a PowerPoint presentation, and it was like 10 slides. But every single one of these slides is just shit I just did not know. First, I went into the history of the Teamsters, right? Like back in the 30s in Minneapolis, what we had over there and stuff like that with the, like red shirts came out and started killing people and stuff like that. And then you went into just what happened to our old freight companies that we had that got shut down because nobody thought, that we would ever fail. We were too big, right? Told a story about Consolidated Freight. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
I mean, I've heard of Consolidated Freight back in the day, but you can tell the story. Go ahead.
Consolidated Freight, they would go pick up new cars from like lots, right? And they, after a while, you would get like non-contracted guys, non-Teamster guys picking up like used cars. The consolidated freight guys were like, oh no, we're not picking that stuff up. We only pick up used.
Yeah, we don't want to pick.
They're fucking ego, you know. You're like, no, that's not how it works, man. If you guys don't start doing this, you know, your guys' lunch is gonna be done. You ain't gonna do anything. They didn't want to listen. Okay, Consolidated Freight, the company, decides on Labor Day 2004 it was Labor Day, shut down, and just laid off everybody on Labor Day.
Wow.
Of all days, they did it on.
I mean, this is kind of a little bit of a stretch, but I almost consider it the same as, like, you know, we talk about weekend work for UPS. Obviously, you're feeders, so you guys run all the time. But for drivers, you know, there was a big, just a lot of angry people when they went to deliver Saturdays, and we hear the same thing about Sundays. But at the end of the day, if you don't keep up with the Joneses, you know what I mean, you be out of luck. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to stick with the market. You got to see what your competitors are doing. You got to stay competitive.
I mean, who delivers on Sundays?
Post
Everybody.
office, Amazon, FedEx.
Why don't we?
Yeah.
THL.
We got to catch up. This is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. We do need to catch up, but the thing is,
But
they
say that
can't
to a driver.
They can't.
I
even
mean,
manage. They can't
just
even
to be honest,
manage
I did the job. I heard all the complaints.
Yeah.
I mean, I was one of the guys who would come in on Saturdays and deliver air and
Yeah.
EAMs and air and stuff. But I mean, I get it. It's the weekend. We're used to a Monday through Friday. That's like the bread and butter, right? That's like the cream of the crop job, Monday through
But
Friday.
that was why that job was sought after.
Yeah. But now, I mean, just to kind of keep up with competition, we gotta do what we gotta do, man. So back to your timeline here. So
Yeah. So this is the middle of the PowerPoint presentation, right? And start telling us about all the stuff that could happen to us, right? And then comes up this big slide, all the industries that Amazon has their fingers in. So obviously it's package delivery and stuff like that. First, it used to be a book company, right?
yeah, it started.
They
as
used to
a-
sell
books
used
online.
books.
Yeah. And then he starts talking about they're in grocery now. You know, Amazon Fresh.
Yeah.
You're out there, you go to a grocery store now.
They're in
No.
pharmacy now too.
Pharmacy as well.
Yeah.
They bought a freight company in Hawaii just recently.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they're in
Shit.
everything. They're in freight now. They're in pharmaceuticals. Oh, now if you want to, did you guys watch the football game on Thursday?
I didn't know.
No, did you watch it?
I saw some of it. Yeah.
What channel was it on?
Oh, it
It was
was.
on Amazon Prime.
Yes,
So
you're
now-
right.
They have
And
their
the
own network
the
too.
logo in the front is the NFL and Amazon on the top.
Thursday Night Football is only on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Really?
that.
Yep.
So
You're right.
That's where Amazon makes their money, though. They don't make their money on package or freight or pharmaceuticals or grocery. They make their money on web services. You see it, AWS. They advertise that shit like crazy. He started talking about how, like, what they do is they go out and they get servers, right? Like, servers for information to be stored in. And they buy it all up. And then you got city councils. You got other Fortune 500 companies storing all their information on it. And Amazon just gets the money from it, right? So Amazon's doing what Walmart was doing 15 years ago. They were undercutting the competition, and until they're the only ones left, and they raised the price up. So every single time, you know, you order something from Amazon and you're like, you use it once, you're like, nah, I want to return it. They don't give a fuck. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
free
yeah.
shipping, whatever, drop it off at UPS, it's fine. They're not making money on shipping. They're making money on, you know, hosting Netflix. Netflix runs on Amazon servers. HBO Max, obviously Prime, you know. Everything that went from cable to streaming is now hosted on Amazon web servers.
Really?
So that's the threat of it. I saw that. I started seeing the future because it's coming. And then little by little, they just kept, you know, creeping into different industries. And
Shit, Amazon's getting into farming and shit now.
Yeah.
you see what I mean? It's like Monsanto better watch out. you
Yeah,
know?
right.
No, man.
Well, you would think so,
Oh,
right?
hey, that's for the after show.
That's,
son.
that's part of the other show.
All right, that's all right there. Well, it might be good. The
Yeah,
Monsanto.
Monsanto's.
You need to
That's,
get on
that's
like
No,
another
no
show.
glyphosate talks right now, all
Get
right?
on that fucking that crazy wig like from
Yeah.
HB's. That'll be the thumbnail with him like this.
Barbie. So I started going through those meetings faithfully, right? And
Yeah.
then he's like, "Hey man, if you want, can you use your outreach? Because I know you've been at UPS at that point, like 13 years." He's like, "I know you know a lot of people." I got you. So then we started getting more people to go to these meetings on like a weekly or like a monthly basis at least, right? signing sheets and everything. And all of a sudden, we went from our hall over there on Valley in Rialto all the way to our new hall that we have on Bloomington just up the street. So now we got 2 halls over there. Yeah. Not to flex. So, yeah. But we started filling up these conference rooms, right? And then the organizers over there at Local 63 saw that, I got a knack for this. You can reach out to people, you can get them to do stuff, right? So you want to get put on the volunteer coordinator program. I was like, for sure, what do I got to do? So I went to a few trainings, like organizing trainings. Like, I know you guys got one right now going on.
Yeah.
But it's all it is. It's the 8-step process, the 8-module process that we have here in the Teamsters, right? That is the bloodline of what we got going on. Because if we don't organize and expand, then we're going to die.
Yeah, we're shrinking.
Simple as that, So I started doing that. I seen it, and I put it into practice. And that's why when you guys said we have a podcast, we're gonna give you a platform. Well, let me go ahead and talk all this shit that I can. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. We just got back from a strike yesterday, actually. Over there,
are active.
Yeah, we've been having weekly strikes since those 84 drivers out of Palmdale got their contract cut back in June. Now those are Teamsters. Those guys got a contract. Yeah, they got a contract. They negotiated and everything, right? Yep. And the company's like, we don't want to deal with the Teamsters, so we're going to just go ahead and renege on our contract. That's illegal.
Yeah.
You cannot do that, Yep. So we've been,
what are the ramifications for that, do you know?
Of what?
For them just reneging the contract.
So we took it up to the NLRB. We have a case right now that hopefully is going to be coming back very soon in our favor. We're looking like it's going to be in our favor. Because from whatever I've been reading that the NLRB has been ruling in the past few weeks and months, they've always been in workers' favor. I don't know if y'all heard, Circa, the casino up there in Vegas, they just had guys come back after 2.5 years.
Wow.
With back pay for 2.5 years.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if we got them on our side, and we have a solid case with these guys, because Amazon's trying to say that they don't work for them. They work for a third-party contractor, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, that's how they word it, right? So that's like they're a third-party subcontractor.
So we're telling them, I was like, so you're driving an Amazon van, Amazon packages, Amazon uniform, with your Amazon phone, taking orders from Amazon. And they have,
Well, those guys own the trucks.
That's what it is. So these drivers have messages on their phones saying, from their dispatch saying, per Amazon, don't come back without an empty truck.
Yeah.
Well, then who's calling the shots,
Yeah.
So we're still in the process of that right now. We got a lawsuit pending, and if it comes out in our favor, then at the very least, Amazon's going to be seen as a joint employer, which means they're on the hook for a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
But those guys are going to go back. All 84 of those drivers are going to go back.
Is that where you met Silver, obviously, out there on the strike lane?
No, I met Silver at another thing that we were trying to cause ruckus of. So this called the Gateway Specific Project over there in San Bernardino. Silver lives out there. Yeah. He lives in that area. And I don't know if y'all been to San Bernardino, but it ain't the nicest place ever. Right. But ever since 1990, when that air base shut down, the city's been trying all these plans, right? We're going to just uproot everybody here. We're going to put a hotel or warehousing, whatever it is, right? And that shit hasn't happened. It hasn't worked. San Bernardino's still San Bernardino as long as I've been alive, right? Yeah. So their brand new plan coming up 2 years ago, maybe like a year and a half ago, was like we're going to everything from 5th Street to 3rd Street in between Tippecanoe and the 210, I'm sorry. We're going to just, bulldoze all that, give a fuck who lives there, and then we're going to just put hotels, a dog park, warehousing and stuff like that. We saw that, and Silver was read about it, and he's like, yo, this is my community, what the fuck, right? Yeah. So I work in Rialto, right? But our sister local 1932 in San Bernardino, Randy Corrigan's local. Yeah. So we're out there, and he has a big community outreach program over there. So we started reaching out to the community out there, door to door on the weekends, going to these straight projects, man, asking them, do you guys know that they're gonna kick you out in about 6 months? And everybody's just like, nah, I haven't heard about this, because they ain't trying to make you hear about this stuff, right? So there was this one meeting by the IVDA, the Inter-Valley Development Agency. That's what it is out there, right? It's this one government agency that They just get funding, and their whole thing is just to plan stuff for companies to come in and just take advantage of, right? So we got the community together. We told them all what was gonna happen, and we're like, we need a proposal to go up to the mayor of Highland, the city managers of Colton, San Bernardino, and one more place I forget, but Redlands. That's what it was, right? Because it was gonna span all that. We went to city council meetings. We went out there. We like spoke, and we brought people up, telling them, you're gonna kick this person out. Do they know that? A lot of these people don't even speak Spanish. They speak Tagalog. We got a lot of Filipino residents out there, right? So we just just kept doing speed bumps, right, for them. Like they just couldn't get rid of us. And so just recently, last week, we met with some people from the city council, and they're like, oh, that what was it called again? The Gateway specific project is now dead.
Wow.
So we
you killed it.
We did it, Simple
Wow.
as that. Like we put it
Congratulations.
into action and it worked. And that's why Silver, saw what we can do, and he's like, dude, it's working. And I'm like, yeah. So then now I'm on this podcast. that's the
Long
timeline
story
right
short,
there. That's the
now you're
timeline
on the
right
podcast.
there. That's how it
All right.
goes.
So, I mean, what have you been doing in organizing lately? What are you jumping into?
So I'm in charge of getting a bunch of organizing committees at these different Amazon facilities. So we got like 40 plus in the area, man, over there in San Bernardino, Colton, Redlands, Ontario, Fontana. There's so many, right? We have to go inside, talk to the inside workers. Right now, since this lawsuit's been going on with the Palmdale guys, we're doing the drivers. That looks like it's going to be a good avenue for us to go to. So on a weekly basis, I have house calls. I have meetings with these like brand new people that, want to know what a union is. A lot of people don't know what a union is.
Yeah.
And that's just disheartening because it's crazy because there's like a study that just came out saying that 90% of the country wants to be part of a union, but only 10% are. So there's that disconnect. Like, what is that 80% that we're missing out on, right? So we're trying to figure that out. And what I think it is just there's just not a basic understanding of what they can do, A lot of people don't know what a union, what a contract is to
What
what
a Teamster is.
Straight up, yeah. Teamsters are old,
Yeah.
And because we're so old, we're old-fashioned. That's to our detriment, though.
Yeah.
But getting the new generation in and getting them trained up, which is what you guys are doing right now as we speak, like that's exactly like the way we got to go about this.
One of the biggest things I heard Sean say that I was 100% in agreement with was he wants to bring back the household name of the Teamsters. Because, I mean, you ask people what a Teamster was, in the 50s, everyone knew what a fucking Teamster. And now it's a funny story, me and Sawas were in Florida at an event, and some lady saw Sawas' shirt. She's like, oh, Teamsters, what do you guys work with horses? We were like, what? No, we're a fucking union, right? But I mean, just hearing Sean say that and making that a goal of his, that's big for me because I want to be part of that. I want to bring back the name of the Teamsters and let people know what we do and the benefits we provide and the contracts we negotiate. Yeah, what we stand for. That's huge, man. And it's all marketing and to be honest, the core of that is organizing, right? Not you specifically, but
I think
organizing in general. Yeah. Hey, who knows,
I'll
man?
take
You
all
could be
the
head organizer. Let's see what's up.
It's true now. And looking back, I wish I would have had the opportunity to organize before I was able to and blessed to be in the position I am now. I think you just learn a lot more in organizing to establish yourself and then get into, maybe in the future as a business agent. So I see yourself and Silver and my nemesis, well, I won't even say his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Gary Rocket.
Gary Rocket. Yeah, all you guys.
It's
going
arch
out there.
enemy.
Yeah, that's my nemesis. But no, I see you guys going out
Does
there.
the
and really
seat
doing
feel any
it.
different since he was sitting in
No,
there?
it doesn't.
Oh, I think he's there more than you.
Well, when you guys bump
Shout
my
out to
pay up,
Gary.
I'll be here a little bit more. No, honestly, it's because, family time. You got to make family time. So, but I see you guys doing it, and I'm like in awe of you guys. You guys are all over the place, and I wish I would have had that experience.
It's not too late for you to keep doing it.
Well, you know.
He has a baby girl right now, and he's got a lot going on.
For me, I wish it would have been a stepping stone to get where I'm at now. You know, because I think it's important because, to John's point, the core is organizing. It's organizing, and it's a tough job to do. I know you guys go out there and, you know, get doors slammed in your face and try to talk to people that have no clue what a union is. And to be able to go out there and do that on a daily basis, and my hat's off to all of you guys. You know, I really, you know, I see, like I said, Silver's been a huge inspiration to me, and bringing you here to listen to your story, it's awesome, man.
I mean, that's shit. When George came to me with the idea, you know, George was kind of like the main guy. He's like, hey, man, I've got an idea. Let's start a podcast, you know, a union podcast. And that's all I saw was, man, it's a new way. Maybe not new. It's not new. Actually, podcasts itself is kind of a little older, right? An older form of communication. But we haven't even really delved into that as like the Teamsters as a whole or unions as a whole. It's another form of communication. Another big one coming up is probably going to be TikTok. We got to get, you know what I mean? Like, people get their information, dude, on TikTok.
All these Amazon drivers that I've been talking to, like, yo, do you know what the Teamsters are? Oh, yeah, I saw you on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Right. I'm
So
not
it's
on
like,
TikTok.
so you watched us for 15 seconds?
Yeah, 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah, 15 seconds at a
that's what
time.
it is.
But that all adds up, and they get a lot of information.
Yeah.
So when he was talking about this, and, you know, that's all I saw is just another way to get us out there, to get our name out there, to get, you know,
Spread the information.
just people interested in union, letting them know what a union is, what we do. And in fact, like the first couple shows were, you know, we talked about contract stuff, UPS stuff that we know, UPS contract stuff, and then we talked about, you know, what a union is, what do we do, what benefits do you gain from joining a union versus a non-union place. People don't see it. They don't know. I talk to a bunch of people. They don't even know what a pension is. Like,
That's
oh, what's a
crazy.
pension? I don't know. What's that? And I'm like, oh, it's like a, you know what I mean? Like a 401k on steroids.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know what a pension was until I got that letter in the mail saying you qualify now for Pacific Coast, whatever it is. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What's this? Like, let me get this money.
Right? Right? You're all fuck. I want that money. And people don't understand the stuff that the Teamsters have negotiated, especially at UPS. As much as even part-timers making their pension at UPS is fucking amazing.
But this is that one part where I got to tell the Amazon people it's like that. Like, well, what do you guys got at UPS? I'm like, I don't want to say what we got, man, because it took us 100 years to do this stuff, you know. You guys coming in, you know, you got to fight for whatever you want to fight for. And it's not going to be us. Like, I can't go to your boss and be like, this is what these workers want. He's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
We need the workers on the inside to go out and tell their boss to list of demands and stuff, you know. So the sad part when I talk to these Amazon drivers, and they just got a raise, right? And they're all the way up to $21 an hour now.
All the way up.
All the way up.
All
I asked them, is that enough? And they're like, nah, man, but compared to McDonald's, I'm like, why the fuck are you comparing yourself to McDonald's? It's not even the same industry. That's not a knock on fast food. I worked on fast food.
No, I get it.
You know, and that's just tough, you know?
Yeah, it's hard work.
But like, when you wouldn't, like, a McDonald's worker wouldn't compare himself to, like, you know, a cop, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know?
Or an Amazon driver.
Or an Amazon driver.
Yeah, like,
you know?
well, I work at McDonald's, you know.
I could be working at Amazon.
Why can't I
You're
make
working
as
at
much as a
Amazon,
UPS
maybe.
driver? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It doesn't make any
Yeah, it
sense,
doesn't make
but
any sense.
so telling them to, like, you know, like, you really have to see yourself as part of, like, this industry, because Amazon sees you as part of this industry, and, like, what you are doing is bringing down the standards for everybody else in the industry.
Right.
Yep.
That's what it
Right.
is. Just like what you guys were talking about, you know, everybody else delivering on Sundays. It wasn't that case. That wasn't the case up until Amazon and FedEx started doing it. You know, they took a day of rest away from you. Sunday of all days,
Yeah, I know, right? Football Sunday.
holiest of days.
Yeah.
He was going the religious route. And you're like,
No, it's football. It was football. Yeah. 5-0, baby.
fuck me then.
5-0. What, you San Francisco fan?
Oh God, no.
Who's
The other 5-0 team.
that?
That's good. I don't even want you guys to know. He knows.
Who is
he
it,
knows.
Silas?
It's not the Cowboys.
Tell us your conspiracy theory.
I'm not a Cowboy fan, so yeah.
No conspiracy theory?
Yeah, there actually is.
There's
All
NFL
that
team?
stuff is already destined at who's gonna win the Super Bowl.
Dude, there's somebody.
It's become a wrestling. It's like wrestling.
There's
now.
somebody on
It's
YouTube that
entertainment.
does those videos that show like people throwing stuff, like trying to beat the Vegas odds. That shit's nuts, dude. Like that one guy, I was just watching one of the clips, and this guy was gonna beat. They were gonna beat the spread, and he wide open touchdown, and he like cuts back and then gets tackled. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. I'm
Money,
like,
man.
man, that's
It's gonna be Chiefs and who in the Super Bowl?
I don't know, man. That's I mean, whatever they plan it to be, it'll be. You know, I have a friend that's a big Chiefs fan, and
He got nothing to worry about.
yeah,
They're gonna be there.
yeah.
it is what it is.
They'll be all right.
It is what it is. But so back to organizing. I mean, so you've been organizing these small groups of Amazon employees. I mean, what's next? Are you guys expanding the picket line? I know I did hear something about that, right? You guys are expanding the picket lines. Without giving strategy, I don't want to fuck Jeff Bezos. I don't want him listening to our strategies.
He actually came out with an article that we put up in the PowerPoint presentations now. Amazon heads, the corporate, came out with an internal email saying that Joint Council 42, calling us out,
Really?
saying is the biggest threat to us on the West Coast
Really?
because we stretch from here all the way to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Griswold.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
President. But yeah. So we're on the radar. So I don't give a fuck what Jeff Bezos is.
No, that's right. I mean, and we're taking on, one of the biggest companies in the world.
It's the biggest company in the history.
I
of the
mean,
world, man.
It's huge.
When you look at it, but we're making an effect with the strategies and all the organizing and all the effort that the Teamsters are putting in. And, and it's no knock, but I'm glad that we're starting to step in the ring and starting to organize some of these people ourselves, because I didn't really feel like the ALU was doing anything substantive. You know,
I mean, they were doing like organizing on a different scale that you would do like at Starbucks. And stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But that doesn't work for a place like Amazon where you turn over so much, and then the anti-union machine in Amazon is even bigger than Starbucks, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so just dropping cards and trying to hold elections every so often is not going to be the way to go if you don't organize, because it's unorganized organizing.
Yeah.
And we've seen it, and
Guerrilla warfare.
yeah, it's falling apart little by little. So
That's great, man.
it's gonna take a minute though for Amazon to finally become organized and everything from the inside. But on a week by week basis, what we're doing right now is gonna be what we can do.
All right,
Is
Mauricio.
it
So,
yeah,
You said you stopped it.
no.
Okay. All right.
so where do you see the future? Where we're talking about organizing and getting stuff organized, and where do you see the future of Amazon organization going? Not the organization itself, but organizing Amazon. Like, where do you see that going? How do you, how long do you think it's going to take? Because for me, we're going to win. Teamsters are going to win. We're going to organize Amazon. But how long? I mean, what do you think, or how do you see it going?
What's your prediction?
All right, so
Crystal ball.
the future is bright. All right, we could see that.
Yeah.
Based on talking to these drivers or these warehouse workers, they want change and they're willing to fight for it. Right. Just how you say you're like confident the Teamsters are gonna win, right? You know why you say that? Because we're fucking Teamsters. We got the Teamsters attitude. Like they can't fuck
right.
with us. These guys ain't Teamsters. They go in, they're fucking scared, man. Like well, what if I get fired? They find out I'm talking to you. I tell them, what's stopping them from firing you now without talking to me? Nothing, man.
Yep.
That's the fucking point. I need you to understand that. That
Yep.
you gotta have that protection, but you gotta fight for it. If you don't do anything about it, you're gonna just be doing what you're doing now, and they're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna be like a step kid, trying to see what they can do with the new step parent all the time. Just push that line, see what they can get. Maybe now I can start cussing, or maybe now I can take away more of their time and shit like that, and just see what they can get away with. That's all it is. But that being said, we do need more member engagement. That's the only way we could have them get this confidence is if we give them the confidence. I want them to know when they look outside, when they like see 100+ Teamsters striking at their facility, you know, like that they're out there for me. You know, I want them to understand that. You know, they don't get that when there's only like 20 of us out there doing one little line, holding up their like routes back, because at that point they're just thinking like, get the fuck out the way.
Yeah, I got a time schedule,
shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
But if they see us out there, you know, really stopping shit, and the management on the inside starts fucking panicking and stuff like that, then they start getting that confidence, you know, that they just need, the one that we already have here because we've been Teamsters. We just walked on the job and Teamsters, stuff like that. Paid our, how much was your initiation fee back in the day?
Shit, I don't even remember.
Mine had to be like $275, I think.
I just remember getting checks under $100, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
Tell me what's your
I remember getting minus checks.
Negative. He got negative checks.
Come on, Sabas, owe us money.
There was an attachment to it, so there was times when I didn't get nothing. But I knew walking in and seeing my name on the bottom of that seniority list, and I knew that there was a future there. I just had to stick it out, and it would pay off. And that's what we try to tell these guys now, man. You got to look at the longevity of things, man. If you're just looking for right now, then you're in the wrong spot. You got to pay your dues, man. That's just what it is.
It's an old-fashioned system. Like, you know, it's an old-fashioned system. Like, everyone's in the now, or like they're looking for payout now. Yeah. They're looking for results now. It doesn't work that way.
Like I got a buddy who started working this week, 18-year-old kid going to UCR, and he calls his cousin who got him in, and he's like, "Yo, how come you didn't tell me I don't get paid this Friday?" Like, bro, you worked this week. You worked this week, dude.
Give it a week, bro.
Yeah, you know, like they want it now.
Right? He's like, "No, just write me a green check right now."
We got a lot of that for sure. Look, this segment will probably take a little while, but I want you to express. So talk to all the people out there in YouTube and Spotify world. What if you could, you know, talk to the Amazon members? What are you telling them? What message you want to get across to those guys?
Where's the camera at?
Yeah, it's right there. You can look right there.
That one's you right there.
All right, look, things are only going to get better if you make it better, okay? You have resources with the IBT, at your local Teamsters, like even community, you know. You got the support out there. You just have to come out and reach out to it, okay? There's only so many of me, only so many of us out here, okay? But you on the inside that knows the business and goes to work every day are the most important thing to all this. You're that little chain link that keeps it going, okay? Right? It's going to take a while. We need you to understand the vision, okay? But if you don't do anything about it, it's not going to get any better. That's how much I can guarantee you. But if you do something about it, it can only get better. And it will only get better. And that's the Teamster confidence that we all have up here right now. You don't need me to tell you that. You're going to see it on your own. That's what I tell them.
Like you said, we walked into a job that was already, we reaped the benefits of what others had fought, died for. And in the labor union as a whole, the labor movement as a whole, we reaped those benefits. People that fought and died for a 5-day work week and breaks and lunches and, just a while ago, 952 was fighting OCTA for bathroom access for the bus drivers.
That was fucking,
you know what I mean?
That was wild.
Like you're talking about 2022, and just like you said, it won't get better unless you fight for it, and it takes somebody. You might not reap all the benefits right up front. I wouldn't expect to tell these Amazon drivers or Amazon warehouse people like, hey, you're going to get what UPS has right off the bat, because like you said, UPS has been at it for 100 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? UPS has been Teamsters for a long, long time, fighting over and over in the contracts, and we're still fighting. Myself and Savas had the privilege of sitting in negotiations for the West and the Southwest as we watched, the older generation, like the head guys fight and just tooth and nail to get to better even what we have now at UPS. It's just amazing what the hard work does when you put it in. Just like anything else, put the work in, put the struggle in, fight for what you got, fight for what you need, and let's move forward, man.
Anything else, George? Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You don't want to say it? You can say it. It's all right.
Fox Thomas? He knows that already.
Salvas, you want to close this out?
No, I just want to just say I appreciate you, coming on and sharing your story with us. And like you said, all the Amazon people out there, you got to look at the long term and look at the vision and don't be afraid to fight. And you have the support of the Teamsters, and I look forward to the day, honestly, to see because it's going to be a huge thing and I hope it's sooner than later, but when that time comes, I can't wait to see that so that I could go to all the people that I know, like when I talk to family or people that are not involved in the union, go say, yeah, the Teamsters fucking did it, man. Yeah. So I look forward to that day. I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we'll have you back again. And
next time I'm coming on, I'm bringing somebody from Amazon.
there you go.
Do it.
That's what we need.
Do it.
So I appreciate the time. I haven't been here in a while, but, I came this week, and
Hey, we're happy to have you. Fuck you, but we're happy to have you.
Like I said, and with all that, you got to remember, you got to make time for your family, man. That's the number one thing. Your family comes first. We're all busy. We got busy lives, but you got to make time for the family too, man.
Yeah, otherwise, what are you doing?
Exactly, because this is what we work for,
Yeah.
to provide for our families. So
Right. 100%.
that's all I got to say. Oh, Gary, you already know.
He's been working out.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Share. This is an important one. Big stuff going on here with Amazon and stabilizing the whole industry. And if you think you're out there and you're not at UPS or somewhere else, they are touching your industry. Amazon is getting their hands into everything. It's only a matter of time before they affect you if they're not already affecting you directly. Yep. So please share this video. Share, word of mouth. We love it. We appreciate you. Check us out on Instagram, ocst.952.
Email us at ocst.000@gmail. Put in anything you want in there, right? Hit us up about your barn, questions about Amazon. Also, I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We are going to be giving away bottles with labels on them. And I know we've already been hit up with some comments on Instagram. And on that Instagram post, hashtag bottoms up. In 2 weeks' time, we'll post out who won the bottles. So look this week for the official post on when we're going to, give those bottles away.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.